Good evening, everyone. This is Pine Grove Live News. Yeah, it's 6:01. Stop this music before it gets going. Late, too late. Well, while that rears up to stop its ugly head, I will go and see if we are live. So, anyways, it's Monday. Okay, it's just Monday. One second. See if we are live. So, anyways, it's Monday. Okay, it's just Monday. 6:02 p.m. here on the East Coast, and it's light out. Yep, the sun is just now barely 6:02 p.m. here on the East touching down. Probably got about another hour, because we turned the clocks forward an hour. Remember that? Just now touching down. So we're live on YouTube as well, and just remember, I cannot. The way it's set up right now, I cannot comment on. I cannot open the live chat because I would have to sign into YouTube, and on that PC they have blacklisted me. And I can't open any accounts on that PC with that URL, with that IP address. I mean, so the only thing I could tell you is that we are recording and live at Mixler 2. We can chat in there if you wish. Send me a message there while we're live. And I want to try and make it brief. Believe me, I don't have a whole lot of news, but there's some things that I said that I was going to do, and I actually did it. Yeah, I actually, because it was just too important. It was very, very important, more than anything right now besides the Lord God, and that was speaking out for the people or the children who cannot speak for themselves. The infanticide that the Democrats voted in New York and a few other states. Yeah, and so my biggest push tonight, and I'll get to the news right after it, is we need to start speaking up about these things, or they will continue to happen. I mean, of course, it's whatever the Lord wants done, He's going to have it done. And don't think for a second that He doesn't use us, you, me, or anybody else to do these things. You think of course, yes, he just spoke these things into existence, and they just were there. And but listen, He made man, and they sinned. They have reasoning. They have, what do you call it? They have reason. Wasn't a whole lot of reasoning, I guess, but they have a choice. They have a choice. Even though the Lord knows what decisions we will make when we make them, we're still living it. We're still making those choices. And if you were to just sit back and let these evil overtake you and just sit by the wayside, that's not what Jesus, what God wants you to do. He did not say just to sit back. He said quite the opposite. He didn't say sit back and enjoy a very fruitful and happy life by doing nothing. We did. He said quite the opposite. He didn't say sit back and enjoy a very. Believe me, if God, He'll get what He wants done, of course. But like this thing. You know, I went to, like I said I was going to, I went to White House Gov site and I filled out a petition. Filled out a petition. I sent it to a lot of people on Skype. I still have yet to send it emails, which I'm planning on doing tonight or tomorrow in the morning before I go off to the second shift. One last time. This is what I put out here. It only, see, that's the link up there. Okay, what's posted up there, you can see it. See it on YouTube. You can see it on my videos that I'm going to, you know, have it recorded and edited, all that stuff. They're going to be out there. That link will be in there. Take that link, and I sent the link to a lot of people. Take that link, click the link. You don't have to do anything else. Click the link, and when you get there, just put your name and email. 2 minutes. 2 minutes of your life to go and sign a petition to defund. I particularly put defund Planned Parenthood abortion clinics are in whole, including any other institutions aligned with them, to defund them. Okay, and also on the bottom, you see it was created the 9th, today's the 11th, so I created it Saturday. It also goes on to say, we the people do not allow the use of our monies in any form, denomination, or currency, foreign or domestic, for the purpose of abortion in any trimester or gestation period. No more federal funds to kill babies. Go a little further, over to the right, at the bottom, your name and your email address. And you know what I'm disgusted about? And I know a lot of people got them. Only 7 have signed. So that part really bothers me to no end. And only 7 would take the time, the 2 minutes, because I gave them all the links. Gave them the link to go there, 2 minutes of your time to go there and click this. So you either must agree or think it's okay for people to kill babies, or, you know, you take 2 minutes out of your TV watching, out of your book writing, studying, whatever you're doing, 2 minutes to go in there and sign a petition. We need 100,000 people. It's not even, it'll disappear. It's got 30 days to do that. You know, I'm just, a lot of things going through my head. Am I so insignificant? And I probably am. And I have no problem with that. And no people that are willing to step up and speak out and sign a petition to try and do something. I'm tired of sitting back and just talking about it. And this is one thing I found that I could do. Maybe there are other things, and I'm going to look into them. Between this and something that I can do for the elderly who are just sitting around in these places and basically just dying, just away. The workers there really do not care about, you know, the residents. Most of them don't. I've even seen a couple get into a couple battles with one of them. I told many people that story. All painting, you know, doing my job. This elderly lady, I mean, worker came in there, and I know, I guess it goes on quite a lot. I heard this, you know, afterwards, that she is very hard on the workers, but the workers are very hard on her. They get her riled up, and they threaten her with drug injection to calm her down so that they can either change her or get her into a chair to go eat or something. but there's no excuse for that. They got to have a lot more patience. And if they can't handle that woman, then rotate the people. I don't really know how that works either. They should rotate the people. Unless, you know. So, but anyways, during that little altercation with the, because did hear that the woman tried to slap the worker, and that's when the order for the medication came out. But you know, briefly looked at the elderly lady, and she, I said hello to her, and she said hello to her. She said hello, and she put a smile on her face, and she said, you know, something to the fact, "Can you get this woman out of there? Tell her to leave me alone." You know, at the time, I just tried to. I really didn't know what to do. You know, I was afraid for the tenant and angry at the worker, but kind of sympathetic too. You know, that resident. You know, quite a few times since then, and I know she's kind of sometimes she can be like me. You know, very hard and you know, kind of joking around, but not really. You know, it's not a really funny way. They, you know, I don't know how do you put that. In any case, these babies, I mean, they can't speak for themselves. They can't. I mean, and now we've got, you know, these states that are just being passing laws to just kill the babies, and it's only for the baby parts. It's only for these, you know, black market baby sellers, so they can, you know, come to into the light, I guess, more and do it on the books. Um, People, I'm also looking into. There was a list of certain amount of these baby parts that are used in our products, and some, you know, in our food. Believe it or not, they use baby parts to enhance the flavor in food. And I know what's on the list because I ate it today, and because I was, you know, normally eat them, and that is Doritos. There, I don't know what they call it. It's called Cinemex. Cinemex. It's in women's makeup. You're putting it all over your face, women. I guess you don't care as long as, you know, these Planned Parenthood, you know, have their money from the federal government, these grants that keep them going. We went on the news Friday, talked about 21 states now doing Trump and the government because of promised grant money. And I you know, pat Mr. Trump on the back for shutting a lot of people off. It is about time that we turn the faucet to the closed position. We are not just siphoning out our money to all these pet projects and these killing machines and who knows companies. Guess I'm still echoing. I don't got this thing off. So anyway, yeah. You know, I told myself that I would do this news thing as long as there was at least one person listening. At least one person listening, and the Lord. I mean, He was true to His promise, and I have to be true to mine. I mean, just sometimes it feels like there is nobody listening, and you know, when I get 7 signatures on a petition to save babies' lives, to shut down funding as a tool to do so, I'm appalled. I'm just thrown back in my chair and, you know, just flopped in my chair like a moveless or motionless lump of clay with nothing else to do. I mean, anyway, if it's my fault, if it's, the fact that nobody's listening anymore, that's okay. Then I can just go fade away into the night, whatever. I don't like doing this most of the time anyway. I do like being a watchman and keeping everyone informed of what's going on so that you're not frightened and you're not overwhelmed by these things, that you know about them, you've heard about them. And that's why I wanted to do it. And the Lord, has blessed me so far that it has cost me practically nothing to do so. Nothing that I could never afford. And when I couldn't afford it one time, I just continued on somehow through his blessings. So in any case, I'm just bringing this out there again. It needs to have attention. And I'm going to, do one more last, first and last email dump, I guess. I'm emailing everyone I know. Anyways, there are so many other petitions. If you've ever visited there, the whitehouse.gov, petitions.whitehouse.gov. A lot of other ones in there that as Christians, man, we should be signing them. I don't know whether you think because you're a Christian, you're not to get involved of any of this. You're not to go and protect the lives of babies and try to even praying. I mean, praying should be number one. Asking your God to save these children, to have mercy on these children. But he has his plan. And even if it does continue, we know where the children are going. For baby parts, for experimentation. And I don't really want to go and research this. Really don't. I've seen an abortion on TV live. And they actually showed one in some medical or show, obviously. And I saw an abortion. I saw what was left after the abortion. And I could still see it clear as day. It was horrific. I was wondering how they could ever put that on TV. But then again, I saw it for the first time in a TV show, probably, a couple months after, how two men and their affections for each other on on TV, on primetime TV, where everyone could see, and they had no shame, nothing whatsoever. And we all learn. We should just get away from this TV. I mean, historical stuff, teaching stuff, channels like that are okay, I guess, but it's still being, divvied out by the prince of the air, and we need to be careful of anything else that may be riding on that wave. I agree. I like to watch a lot of these Discovery channels and History channels. I mean, I like that stuff. Then, I get into the bad stuff, watching these TV series that, nothing really bad. I try to, anyway, I think it's all bad. I'm trying to defend it and, shun it at the same time. And that's what you get, a lot of stuttering. Yeah. I know I should be off of it. I just waste a lot of time when I'm on it. I don't do the studies and do you think that you're all set? Do I think that I'm all set? I'm not all set. I still need to learn. I'm still a disciple of Jesus Christ and I need to learn. There is much to learn in little time. And that's all we need to do is to stand before our God. And the reason why we may be rejected is because we didn't study enough. That you took more time in watching programs or using an excuse to watch programs, to keep your kids busy or company. We the people, okay, your voice in the White House. Let's try to change it. Let's try to defund these killer machines. It only takes 2 minutes. Man, I really don't understand it at all. I do not. So anyway, defund. Yeah, this is from News Punch. 2 U.S. States pass a bill to ban abortion after heartbeat detected. There are a lot of states that are changing their mind because of these things, because of this heartbeat, because of other things that they've seen or heard. We all need to be educated on this. And go take a stand. Lawmakers in Georgia and Tennessee are the 2 latest states, anyway, to enact the tough abortion laws following a Democratic push to legalize late-term abortions. This is from dailymail.co.uk. Opponents of so-called heartbeat legislation argue it fouls in the face of Roe v. Wade, a landmark Supreme Court decision to legalize an abortion, which many pro-life advocates hope will be overturned at the hands of the 2 new justices. Georgia and Tennessee join other states, including Mississippi, Florida, Kentucky, Ohio, and South Carolina, that are also considering this type of legislation. Pray for them to have their senses at that time. The bills will next go to each state's respective Senate. If they pass, the state's governors will have to sign them into law, as Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has said he intends to do. Some sign of good reason. Oh, okay, so now we'll get off that subject, but hopefully I can remember to remind you. I want to just mention this before I go on. This is from Strange Sounds. And still this Australia heat, I guess. This is from the 9th, 2 days ago. More than 120 possums fall out of the trees due to the extreme heat in Victoria, Australia. No, are you sure it's not somebody testing 5G over there? Wildlife rescuers found more than 100 dead and injured ring-tailed possums along a single stretch of beach in Victoria in what ecologists say is becoming an annual occurrence due to extreme heat. There you go. So let's move into this. I wanted to mention this, okay, because we are going into a cashless. Excuse me. I gotta get a drink. Yeah, we've been hearing about it for a while. This cashless society that we're going into. We're basically there. I mean, there's just some holdouts and the rise of this. The only reason I mention this, the rise of these cashless banks and what we can do about it's just another example of the times and knowing that this may be right around the corner. I mean, just look at let's see, I've got grandchildren and they're in their teens now, a couple of them, and a couple others aren't. And they are not being taught cursive. If you don't know what cursive is, it's writing in a continually fluid line, writing like your name is written in cursive. And if the children don't know how to write in cursive and sign their name, I've asked them. Maybe I don't remember the answer, but I guess I need to ask them again. They just spell out their names, I guess. I mean, we do it electronically, right? We don't sign our names. Sometimes we do. Sometimes you're allowed to scribble a little signature in there. But anyway, they're not being taught it. So how are they going to sign checks and sign their names to contracts and other things? I know that we print our names, but cursive, your signature has always been the mark of you, your mark. So, I don't know. Is there another mark coming that you're not going to need to have your mark? Right? Is there another mark coming? Well, we've always talked about that, mark of the beast. So this one from Rural Israel News. U.S. technology firm to buy Israeli chip maker Mellanox for 6.9 million, or billion, excuse me. It is the biggest ever acquisition of NVIDIA as it pushes into the market for data center components. That sounds familiar. Aren't they the? Do they make what do they call it? Sound cards for computers, or they used to. Now it's just all. I guess I haven't really. Mine is right now. There's some cards that you can buy separately that goes in your computer. You just plug them into your slots and so on and so forth. You can get good graphic card. You know, I believe that's where I got the name from. But anyway, data center components. Okay, they talked about chips. Anyway, wanted to bring that up. You know, no signatures. How are you going to sign something? How are they going to know it's you? Well, there's the chips. Yeah, and banks. Well, that's probably another story. The reason why they don't carry much cash with them. But yeah, have you ever wondered why? Remember when Pelosi came out and said that there was like an 87% approval rate for this Green New Deal? Do you remember that? I remember that specifically. 80 something percent. 82, 87% approval rate. And I just chuckled at it. I said, really? I don't think so. I know all the people around me. I know people, you know, talk to them anyway, and that's what they seem to the people I know would never agree to this Green New Deal. It has so many components to it, and none of it are good for you. But I found this in here, the fake poll on the Green New Deal. This is where they got their poll. And they're saying 80% of America's voters support the Green New Deal. I don't believe it at all. Not unless they know exactly what's, not if they know what's going on. Its backers citing a recent survey by a group of academic pollsters. Furthermore, this public endorsement is supposedly bipartisan, with 92% of Democrats and 64% of Republicans indicating that they either strongly or somewhat support the far-left package to reshape the entire American economy around green energy in the course of the next decade. Of course, we all know that AOC says within 12 years we'll all be dead or gone. Whatever she means by that. So a very different story lurks beneath the surface of these impressive-looking statistics. Although the survey was conducted by a team of professors at George Mason University in Virginia and Yale University in Connecticut. Go figure. It was essentially, yeah, I'm saying University of Connecticut because they're all, they're all spoiled. Very much spoiled, and they think they can they think they deserve everything at any time they want it, and so on and so forth. But anyway. So it was essentially a push poll designed to bias respondents in favor of the proposition. The trick behind the outcome may be seen in the question's wording. Rather than asking voters directly about the Green New Deal, the pollsters first presented them with a glowing paragraph-length synopsis that touted the proposition's fantastical claims. Okay? So, some members of Congress are proposing a Green New Deal for the U.S., and they say that the Green New Deal will produce jobs and strengthen America's economy by accelerating the transition from fossil fuels to clean, renewable energy. The deal would generate 100% of the nation's electricity from clean, renewable sources within the next 10 years, upgrade the nation's energy grid, buildings, and transportation infrastructure, increase energy efficiency, invest in green technology research and development, and provide training for jobs in the new green economy. Yeah, it does sound kind of fluffy puffy, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, that's what they voted on. Not this. And this is from IntelliHub. Green New Deal hallucination. This is what is really in there. Okay, this utopia in the green universe is a zombie parade of wackos sitting at the cool cafeteria table in a mental hospital. The Green New Deal is a script compiled by opiate-medicated inmates at One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest salons. All right, so we know his opinion. But anyway, here's what a lot of this I've heard is including it. Rebuild every single building in the U.S. And you know that includes your home. My home is heated with gas. That's got to go. Well, I said fossil fuel, so I don't know if that's included. But anyway, anybody who heats their homes with oil, you have to pay for the transition, over to green energy, however that is, solar powered, wind powered. You have to pay for it. I'm sure there'll be some kind of, I don't know, at $93 trillion, I don't believe that it's going to be a whole lot of grants, but probably will be out there anyway, offered and never given, but we'll see. So, and we'll end all traditional forms of energy in the next 10 years. 10 years to completely switch over. Plans to ban nuclear energy within 10 years if possible. I agree with that. I want nuclear energy to go. I think the dark side of it, the others, the plants breaking down, the Fukushimas, the Chernobyls, we've already got one extinction level event, this Fukushima going on now. We don't need all these plants, especially in the U.S. I mean, that's the only ones I know about. A good 60% of them, if not more. I got 60% in my head, it may be more, that are in need of repair immediately. Others have to be shut down. They're all over their dates, they're over the expiration periods. As well as everything else, our infrastructure. So don't invest in new technology of carbon capture and storage. Just plant trees instead. Mandates all new jobs be unionized. May include a carbon tax. May include cap and trade. There's another list down here. What did I see? Well, where did I see it? Anyways, it calls for the elimination of airplanes. No more, airplanes flying in the sky. All gone. It's going to be trains instead. So that one that was canceled, where Trump defunded in California, well, that could be reopened. Not it's just going to be trains. So we'll have to fund that. I mean, you're talking $93 trillion over the next 10 to 12 years. It's just, and a lot of it, there's a lot of socialism intertwined in this Green New Deal. AOC doesn't have to worry about it. She is on the elite, level now. She will be taken care of. She will sit in her suite or whatever, her high tower, and who knows, drinking margaritas and eating filet mignon and all this other stuff while the rest of us are struggling while we've just put in a 16-hour day to get enough rest and do the other things we need to do. Yeah, that's what socialism leads to. You all must have heard about this already. Jetliner crashes in Ethiopia, sorry. I can't, having a problem pronouncing things. Killing 157 from 35 different countries. They have a video of it somewhere, but we do not. I did not get that. Crash shortly after takeoff from Ethiopian capital Sunday, killing everyone. Carving a crater into the ground. 35 among the dead. It was not clear what caused the Ethiopian Airlines plane to go down in clear weather. I heard somebody was talking about obviously wind shear or something like that, turbulence, whatever. You hear about all kinds of weird things in different areas of the world. Just go to Google, search plane crashes, and then you start getting into all these YouTube videos, and they start telling you about all these places that these airplanes take off from, land to, and some of these places, I mean, I don't see how they do it every day. These planes and these wind shears, over islands and in between islands, very unpredictable. Let's see, what do we have here from Israel News? Cortez accuses a pro-Israel group of coming after her, Omar and Tlaib. It's official. The APEC is coming after Alexandria Ilhan and Rashida. Declared a fundraising appeal from Republican Alexander Cortez. Recently distributed an appeal for donations claiming that the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, APEC, lobbying group is coming after her. Well, good. I think this lady got on the wrong train and she still doesn't realize that she's lost. Okay, so somebody needs to take her by the hand, okay, pull that little lever down to stop the train, and send her off with a little map how to get back, up and out of the ground into reality. Okay, and she's already in trouble, with her and her boyfriend moving around funds, and we're still waiting on that stuff. I just love the way the Lord takes down these people. It's refreshing to watch. Yeah. Am I a Christian for wanting to see that? That's up to you. I think I'm still a Christian. I think that I have my righteous anger moments and irritations. I would gladly have her, and I would forgive her if she would repent and turn to God and change her ways. Absolutely. In the meantime, yes, I'm going to applaud the Lord for taking her down to a point of humility where she can learn. And a lot of us learn that way. We're brought down. We're broken into just such a small level of humility and desperation and despair, and that's the only way we can learn. The only way. It's the only way. It was the only way for me. There were many bouts of that, but yeah, one time I was smart enough to accept an answer. Anyways, yeah, she's crying, Uh huh. Rapper charged with terrorism for sharing a song critical of police on Facebook and YouTube. Wow. So weighing in on a First Amendment case that could have significant ramifications, and seeing that we're talking about a lot of these First Amendment attacks right now. Okay, the Democrats passing a law somewhere about hateful speech, turning us into Canada. And that is just directly attacking the Constitution. And how can they possibly get away with that or get away with this infanticide, to be able to kill babies out of the womb alive? Well, we know how we know who's on that side of it. Oh, sometimes. But yeah, so here goes our First Amendment. They're continually after our Second Amendment, our guns, and now they're going to go after our First Amendment. They're going to start telling us what we can and cannot say. There's already some laws out there about hate speech. I've heard someone be arrested for it. Yeah. If you threaten somebody, well, I mean, I guess there's a point of threatening. I don't know. I mean, that gets into the gray line, if there is a gray line of free speech. Whether you threaten somebody with bodily harm or and call that free speech. I don't know about that. I don't. And I don't think they should be, beat up and thrown in jail for the rest of their lives either. I think maybe they should be fined first, and any other thing that happens after that. If they're that hateful. But now we're making laws against hateful speeches, hateful talk. And the Democrats only did that and changed it, this anti-bigotry law, to protect the Omar there from her anti-Semitism. And so that's the only reason of changing that law. I mean, can Democrats continually make their own laws? Aren't the Republicans, doesn't it have to come to a complete vote of the whole committee or something? I don't know a whole lot about political crap because I really don't want to, but I mean, it just seems like these Democrats are just passing laws just for the fact that they're trying to create total chaos. So this guy, rapper, this First Amendment case that could have significant ramifications for online communications and controversial art forms. The Rutherford Institute has come to the defense of a rap artist who was charged with making terrorist threats after posting a rap song critical of police on Facebook and YouTube. What the heck is going on there? Now, how does that... See that? How does that do that without me touching it? Zoom in like that. What did I do? Oh, now I see. I didn't realize I could do it on the little, mouse pad too. I have a touch screen and the mouse pad. Apparently, I do the same thing that you do on the screen with your fingers or your phone. Zoom in and out. Found out, a year after I've owned the darn thing, that you can zoom in and out on the mouse pad too. Anyway. Police have been actively monitoring the rapper Jamal Knox's AKM Mayhem Mal social media presence, and they've discovered the song titled F blah 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 K, the police, and charged Knox and his rap partner with multiple counts of terrorist threats and witness intimidation. Yeah, so now the more I read about it, if that's the case, then it's the police just trying to be who they are or who they think they are above us. And we are pretty close to a police state as well. So that, that is, transform and form. And well, I'll tell you about the time that I walked my dog in the park. Some people will remember that one. I was eventually banned for life from my own community's school park, walking my dog. Yeah, story. Facebook announces medical fascism rule. All content that contradicts the corrupt vaccine industry will be banned. Heard about that? Been hearing about it, and they are doing it. Google, we must stop fake news, as that's how Trump won. Remember this woman? As soon as Trump was inaugurated, and they said, I heard her too, just screaming out, no. There's just a lot of wackos out there, man. A lot of people that are just off, either through the drugs that they've been introduced in the mother's womb or thereafter out of the womb, because they're giving kids, like candy, giving them medicines. For ADD, DTS, you name the three letters. I mean, they'll make up some just to give the kids medicines, pharmaceuticals. Start them out young. And then we got the fluoride in the water, and who knows what else they're putting it in there. And we can go on from there, what they're putting all around us. Men are becoming sterile. Women are having miscarriages. And now they're killing the babies. So 500 manageable million, well, it may take another 10 or 20 years, but soon, there'll be mass die-offs of cancer and who knows what else that we're going to get from all this chemically induced genocide. Yeah, what it is. All for money and power. But the Lord said that he would not let it completely, he'll stop it short. Anyways, that's something else. Well, call it censorship. Lisa Cheney, anti-Semitism resolution was an effort to protect Omar. We spoke a little bit about that. And that's basically about what it was about. This Republican, Liz Cheney of Wyoming, voted against the recent watered-down anti-Semitism resolution put forward by the Democrats, saying it was actually an effort to protect Ilhan Omar, to cover up her bigotry and anti-Semitism. So there we go. It was either one or the other. It was labeled anti-Semitism resolution, or they changed it to an anti-bigotry, or just hate speech. I know they have some kind of law there in Canada about hate speech. Not allowed to do that. Anyways, easy messed up. Venezuela enters the fourth day of blackout as Maduro blames the U.S. for a cyber attack. Wouldn't doubt it. Venezuelans woke up to a fourth day. Remember, y'all should test yourselves. Turn your stuff off for a day or two. See if you can do it. Do it for a weekend. Do it as a family, because eventually there's going to be tests, and there may be just no test at all. I just contradicted myself, but they could start off with tests if they're, going to go easy with you. But apparently, 4 days for Venezuela. It was 9 days for us, but that was supposedly an act of God over snowstorms. So they woke up to a fourth day of an unprecedented nationwide blackout Sunday, leaving residents concerned about the impacts of the lack of energy, electricity, food and everything else now, electricity. The South American countries' health, communications, and transport system, socialists President Nicolas Maduro, who was facing a challenge to his rule by the leader of the opposition-led Congress, Julian Guaido, has blamed the blackout as an act of sabotage by the United States at the Guri hydroelectric dam. But experts say it is the outcome of years of underinvestment. Of course, experts. Who are the experts? Bet they have. A lot of them are in the U.S. All right. I don't know. Maybe we're done. Thousands in immigration fights detained. They're detained by disease. Just another article. This is from WND. You know, even back in the Barack Obama era, when he opened the southern border, we all knew about that. Once he started that influx, that flow into our country, we started seeing these diseases that we didn't have it here anymore. You know, like, what would they call it? Was it tuberculosis was one of them, I guess? And other ones, you know. I remember getting a little inoculation when I was probably in sixth grade. No, younger than that. I left a scar on my shoulder. It leaves a scar on many people, but yeah, they all but eradicated it in here, and now it's back, as well as other. So that they're bringing back in. So just another way, just one small little way, and they're going to try any way they can, and they'll double and triple up on their, you know, whatever they're doing. I mean, if it can help. So, yeah, you got that to worry about. Then we got, you know, other things like swine flu and bird flu and HIV and Ebola and all these other things. We can go on. You know, we can just take one day and just read these lists and where they are and what they're doing now. Still all kinds of things floating around here. And new ones. Just amazing that puts me in utter wonderment is now that we're getting all these strange, you know, new strands of these same diseases, our antibiotics can't seem to work with them. So we have no help. Cures, no vaccinations, ones that would actually help. Activity at the second North Korea missile site could be preparation for potential launch. I don't know what you're doing there, guy, but it's not something you should be doing. I don't know. I don't know whether, you know, this madman in North Korea actually saw maybe some weakness in Trump, mistaking it for generosity and friendship. That's a sign of a madman. Anyways, this is something that he really doesn't want to do. Yeah, you either agree with me and take off all the sanctions, or we're going to continue our program. What kind of a deal is that? You have to go a little bit at a time. Yeah. Right, followed after the Trump stalemate talks with Kim Jong-un. Preparing to launch a missile or rocket. Plan on some satellite they were talking about the other day. Sparked outrage after satellite images revealed the nation was rapidly rebuilding its Shohei launch facility, a long-range missile launch site. New images reveal activity may have also resumed at a second site. Hey, good luck there, Kim. Yeah, we should always be praying. Absolutely. Already seen that. So we're done. This is it. Why we should keep praying and never give up? Do you actually need a news article to tell you that? Look around you. I mean, maybe you do live in a bubble that's working for you. You know, everything around you is working the way you expect it, or it doesn't bother you because all around you it's just, you know, roses and puppy dogs and little kitty cats. Um, you know, God, you're going to be praying. You need to be praying all the time. And you know why I sleep better now? I sleep better now. My mind used to race, okay, and I had a hard time sleeping. I still don't sleep much, but I do get to sleep at least 3, 4 hours straight. Bits and pieces after that, and that's more than normal. And my mind used to worry about this, worry about that, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen a month from now. Oh, what should I do about yesterday? Oh, well, and stuff like that. I mean, my eyes just rolling back and forth, seeing all these images keep me wide awake. Now, now I take all that spare thought time and not worry about these things because, the Lord has everything. I gave it all to Him. And so I don't worry about these things. And He has been so consistent in His blessings to relieve me of these tensions once I let Him go. He does take care of them. And during my, thoughts, all my thoughts are basically prayers. All my thoughts are about people, like the babies, like babies being killed. How praying for the mothers and hoping that they'd have a little reason come back to them, common sense, or their delusion be lifted so that they can realize exactly what they're doing. Because, some people do not know what they're doing. I mean, Stephen, Jesus, don't forgive them for they know not what they do. God told us that He would give them strong delusion, that they would believe a lie. So, yes, all spare moments are prayers for the murdered children, parents who give the permission to do so, the doctors who do it. I pray for everything, for brothers and sisters around the world that are being killed and run down, and for churches and Bibles being burnt up. Pray for even the ones that are really lost, the ones, everything. I pray for everything. I pray for, prostitution to finally stop, that women finally have self-respect for themselves and search out what their abilities are instead of what their body is. I pray for the men who are just stomping on people below them, who have people who, everything. I take all those things that I think about and I pray to God about them, that they change and be made right. His right, not my right, because my right is just no way close to His right. That's where I want to be. That's why it just keeps me going that way because our rights are just not right. It's not. You should know by now that anything man does or tries to do fails. Man. I did a video one time about how long America's been at war. In over 200 and something years, I think it was like 230 years. There was only like 25 years that we were at peace. The rest of the time, we're at war. So man can't bring peace to this world. No, he can't. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't agree with something you or anybody else and are going to argue and fight over something. People who are just have no natural affection for other people and just will kill people and plot and tear people down. You know who else is in the world? There's the tares that are in the world. just, God created everything. He created good and he created evil. God bless you, everybody. Please go to the petitions.whitehouse.gov. I'll still leave the link in here. I'll display it one more time. It's actually, petitions.whitehouse.gov, and then it goes on petition, and then my title. So the only way you're going to find it is if I give you the link, because I tried looking for it myself, and I could not find it. That's because only a few people signed it. The more you sign it, the more it moves up in rank, and the more it will show you. I've signed many of them when I went looking around there the other day for it. There's many we probably should sign, but this is the one. Please concentrate on. There's others in there that have on a similar path, but not close enough. They don't talk about the funded Planned Parenthood clinics. They talk about abortion. They talk about New York reversing their policy there, and so on and so forth to reverse that. But nobody's talking about what I put up there, and they should be. Anyways, with that, everyone, God bless you. I pray blessings on everyone. It's Monday. Got a whole week before the weekend. Many days, many people to meet, people to see, talk to. Let's get a feel for what's going on out there. And then look to your watchmen, watch women, find out the rest. God bless everyone. Peace out. Thank you for joining, Hen.